You also have a story for anyone who's made a big charity donation in the past few years in exchange for a hefty tax return, and there's news about a big new tax scheme or something?
Yeah, at first it all sounds really legit. You donate a few $1,000s to buy AIDS drugs for Africa or maybe housing for the homeless, and you get a tax refund worth much more than the original donation. Win-win, right? Well, wrong. Revenue Canada officials are about to catch up with you. Helping fight AIDS in Africa is the focus of a group called the Canadian Organization for International Philanthropy, COIP for short. You donate money that's used to buy AIDS drugs, and in return, you get a huge tax refund. Bernie Boudreau donated close to $20,000 in 2008.
And it all looked good, and I thought, well, finally, there's a decent tax break. And it looked good when the CRA gave T5 slips, and that was a selling feature for myself.
But despite that official tax slip, Bernie got a shock when 4 years later, the Canada Revenue Agency sent him a letter to say it was denying that 2008 claim, stating this was not a valid gift pursuant to the Income Tax Act, and that the financing arrangement was a sham. Bernie was ordered to repay all the money in full, plus interest, another $1,068. How are you feeling about that?
All I can say is I regret this big time. Had I known that this was a scam, I wouldn't have got involved whatsoever.
Oh, I think it's just morally offensive.
Bankruptcy trustee Blair Mantin is seeing lives financially destroyed by tax shelter schemes.
It just makes you angry to think that they're still able to do this with impunity, even though so many people are having, they're staying up late at night just trying to worry about how they're ever going to deal with a tax bill like this.
Bernie is far from alone in getting caught up in this tax shelter scheme. The Canada Revenue Agency tells CTV News that in recent years, approximately 10,000 individuals per year participated in gifting tax shelter arrangements. To date, 182,000 Canadian taxpayers who donated to one of these tax shelter schemes have been reassessed. Nearly $6 billion in donation claims have been denied. Bernie thinks the Canada Revenue Agency is partially to blame.
They're giving these T5 slips out, and then they're denying them after you've filled your taxes out.
And Bernie wonders why these tax shelter companies are allowed to continue operating.
I lost a lot of trust, and shame on the government of Canada for that. It seems so corrupt.
Okay, so what about the tax shelter COIP? What does it have to say about the claims being denied?
We'd love to know. We made several attempts to reach COIP, but our calls and our emails were not returned. And to add insult to injury, Bernie and some others caught up in the COIP tax shelter scheme are now being harassed by a third party claiming they owe even more money to satisfy their original donation. So you might be saying, what about the Canada Revenue Agency? What is it doing to protect taxpayers? That story tomorrow at 6. Have you been caught up in a tax shelter scheme? We'd like to hear from you. Here's how you can get in touch. $6 billion with a B dollars. That's astonishing.
A lot of dough. Thanks, Lynda.